Hello, my friends. Today, I want to tell you a calm and touching story about a young artist named Jeremy. It is a story about dreams, loss, hope, and the power of art. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy this gentle tale. Jeremy grew up in a small and peaceful town. He was an only child, and his parents loved him very much. They lived a simple, middle-class life, but their home was always full of warmth. Since he was a little boy, Jeremy loved to draw. He could spend hours sitting outside, watching people, watching life, and turning everything he saw into art. He drew the baker who opened his shop every morning. He drew children running in the square. He drew the old lady feeding birds near the church. To Jeremy, the world was colors, shapes, and stories. His parents noticed his talent and encouraged him every day. They used to say, "One day, Jeremy, you will be a great artist." And Jeremy believed them. When Jeremy turned 16, something wonderful happened. The tuition was expensive, but his parents worked very hard to make his dream possible. Moving to the city was exciting for Jeremy. The tall buildings, the loud streets, the fast rhythm, everything was new. But the art school felt like home. Every day, his paintings became stronger, deeper, and more impressive. Still, Jeremy stayed the same shy boy. He had a quiet life, few friends, and spent most weekends traveling back to his small town to visit his parents, who were always proud of him. When Jeremy was 20, everything changed. One afternoon, while he was at school, he received a phone call. It was the call no one wants to receive. His parents had been in a terrible car accident, and they did not survive. Jeremy's world collapsed. He felt alone, lost, and empty. The small town no longer felt like home without them. He did not want to move in with his only aunt. He wanted to stay close to the dreams he once shared with his parents. For a short time, the art school let him stay in a small room in exchange for helping teachers with younger students. But after a few months, he had to leave. And so, Jeremy found himself without a home, but not without a dream. Jeremy gathered his paints, brushes, and his sketchbook. He began sleeping in a large square near the main station of the city. It was not easy. It was cold, noisy, and sometimes scary. But every morning, Jeremy sat on a bench, opened his sketchbook, and painted. Art became his way to survive, not just physically, but emotionally. There was one man he loved to draw, a well-dressed old gentleman who passed by the square every day. The man was mysterious, elegant, and calm. He painted him smoking a cigarette, walking out of the station, reading a newspaper, waiting for a taxi. The old man became a silent character in Jeremy's art without ever knowing it. Every weekend, Jeremy joined a group of unknown artists who displayed their work in the open square. People walked by, admired the paintings, and sometimes bought them. Jeremy sold a few pieces, just enough to buy food. One sunny afternoon, something unexpected happened. The old gentleman, the man Jeremy always painted, visited the art fair. He stopped in front of Jeremy's display. His eyes opened wide, because in the paintings he saw himself. A version of himself he didn't know existed, thoughtful, peaceful, human. The paintings touched him deeply. He looked at Jeremy and said, "Young man, these are extraordinary." The gentleman introduced himself. He was a very influential man in the city. He had many business contacts and was a close friend of one of the owners of the most important art gallery in the region. Then, with a warm smile, he said, "I want to buy all your paintings." Jeremy could not believe it. The man took Jeremy to meet his friend, the gallery owner. The gallery was famous. Only great artists were displayed there. When the owner saw Jeremy's work, he was impressed. He said, "Your talent must be seen. I want to host your first exhibition." He also offered Jeremy a place to live, a small room behind the gallery, with enough space for a bed and an art studio. For the first time in months, Jeremy felt safe. He felt hope again. The big exhibition day arrived. They admired every painting, every color, every emotion. Jeremy became the talk of the city. Art magazines wrote about his unique talent. Collectors wanted his paintings. Soon, he was traveling through Europe with exhibitions in several countries. Jeremy, the shy boy from a small town, had finally achieved his dream. He carried it with him to every exposition, every country, every gallery. It was a painting of his parents, standing together in a field of flowers, the sun setting behind them, holding each other with love. People offered thousands of dollars for it. Many insisted. But Jeremy always said the same thing. "This one is not for sale." Because for him, that painting was not just art. It was memory. It was love. It was the reason he kept going, even in the darkest days. It was the masterpiece of his life. Jeremy became rich, respected, and famous. But he never forgot where he came from. And so, his story reminds us of something simple but powerful. Sometimes the greatest art is born from the deepest love.